Hi everyone, this is the first time I'm ever going live.
Yeah, that's what happened over Easter.
On YouTube. Hang on, I am trying to get some people on here, so I'm going to basically share it from my phone, hopefully. But yeah, so tonight I'm basically going to be answering questions that have been sent to me. I'm going to be talking about everything that I do and get up to, and hopefully answer some questions for you as well. I want to try and get this on on Facebook in the event where people have been posting, and on Twitter, etc., so everybody can start tuning in. There's nobody here right now, so if you're watching back, I might babble. Don't want to babble, but this is what I'm going to be doing for a minute. Yeah, and when people do come on, I'm hoping that people will tell me how they're doing. Put live right now. So yes, it's been a bit of an odd day, and I've just literally rushed up for here to get sorted. My hair's a bit of a mess, but that's just how it is. Some of the people have been basically asking me to do one of these lives for quite some time, so I thought I would give it a go. I've never done something like this on YouTube before, and so this is an experiment, really. I'm just going to tweet. So if you're on my Twitter, then thank you. Come over to my Twitter. It's at Jen L. Gilmore. I'm live. Come join me. Yes, I've never done this, so this is a complete experiment. So I apologise if you're joining in and watching after it's live, because you're just going to get me talking to myself clearly for a bit. We've got somebody on. That's great. I'm just trying to share it with everyone to make sure people know where to come. Again, this is a complete experiment. I'm going to try and see if I can see the messages. So if people do have questions as well, they can ask now, and I'm going to try and answer them. Right, I'm going to try and get one more share so people know where we are at. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, please do. Every little bit helps, and I'm trying to make the milestone of 100. I'm currently at 61, and it's a bit hard on YouTube these days, but I really enjoy what I'm doing with my YouTube channel. And if you haven't checked out everything on my YouTube channel, then please do come and have a look. I have a monthly feature called #AbuseTalk Interviews, where I basically interview people in the domestic abuse sector and ask them questions that other people will have in their minds but not have the opportunity to ask them. So you get like an inside feel for what it's really like to work in the sector, and I think that's a really good way to have that realization of what it can be really like, because sometimes, as somebody who's gone through it and as a survivor, sometimes it's difficult to see what it's like on the other side, because I'm too busy maybe thinking about the situation and what's happening, and maybe the rules or the policies and there's restrictions. So that is turning out to be a very interesting series, especially having a solicitor who has come in and answered questions for me as well on legal aid and all different kinds of things. So I have got a bunch of questions that I've printed out, and I am going to be answering them. So I don't know whether to put this on Facebook as well and do a dual. I think that might be the best option, because I might be talking to myself for a little while longer otherwise. So I'm going to go live on YouTube, on Facebook as well, and do dual, because I don't know where everybody is. If you're here, say hi and do comment and let me know you're here, because it is an experiment. People have asked me to do this, so I'm hoping this is what everybody will enjoy and like. I'm trying to set up my phone, but it's not happening. So do you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and answer the questions. I'm feeling like a numpty right now, but that's just, I don't know if anybody knows me that well to know that I will just basically tell it. I'm really just tell it as it is and how everything is in life. So a lot of people have said to me lately that I am just basically the person you see on social media when you meet me in real life, and that's because there's no kind of filter or anything. I'm just trying to be real, and hopefully that comes across. Hi Richard, thank you. Be proud of what you're doing. Certainly feeling like I'm on that milestone to get there. So I'm just going to go live on Facebook as well to encourage people really randomly. I wasn't going to do this. I didn't want to. I wanted to try and get people to come across to this channel, but it's really difficult to talk about something like this and get people to come across. So I'm just going to do 2 and see how it goes. So hopefully you'll be able to see me. Richard, I'm still looking forward. How are the plans coming along for the Derwent Valley Literacy Festival? Do tell me, because I need to catch up with you really, because it's been a while. Right, I'm doing it. I'm going live on Facebook and on my YouTube channel, so I'm sure people are going to get really irritated by me now. I'm just going to turn this down because it's a bit bright. Right, so hi everyone. I'm going to, well, time flying by. It is going well and time is flying by, so hopefully I will see you soon, Richard. For those who are joining on Facebook, I am doing a dual live. I'm doing it live on my YouTube channel, and I'm also doing it on my Facebook page. I wanted to try and do it on my YouTube channel because people have been asking me to do a live on my YouTube channel, and then I haven't been able to get everyone across. So do you know what? I'm just going to do it on Facebook and YouTube at the same time, so I'll hopefully reply to everybody. For those of you who don't know, I've been sent a bunch of questions which I've printed out over Messenger, over Twitter, over comments in the live Q&A events, and so I thought I would answer them all in one little Q&A session. I haven't done this for quite a while, so I thought it would just be something different, and hopefully you'll get an inside feel for what I do as well. For those of you who aren't over on my YouTube channel is a hub for my vlogs really, and also my time with my interview series. So I do #AbuseTalk interviews, and I basically interview people in the domestic abuse sector of what it's really like to be in their job role. So that I find very interesting and exciting. And so far we've had somebody who's written a memoir. We've had a solicitor on there talking about what it's really like to ask those questions that you always want to ask a solicitor, and that you never really get the chance to do without paying big bucks. So I interviewed a solicitor. I've interviewed somebody going live on Wednesday evening, which is tomorrow evening, on cult abuse and their experience. So that's going to be an interesting one. So that is the #AbuseTalk series on my YouTube channel. So do check out on my Facebook feed. There is a link to my channel, and do subscribe to get updates. For those who join in, I'm doing dual live. This is crazy, and I think I might have to put my iPhone on charge in a minute, because it's going to be like, you're using all this power and data and everything. But do tell me how you are and what you're up to as well this evening. It's nice to see quite a few of you joining in so late. I have had a crazy, I'm trying to set up, I've had a crazy couple of weeks. For those of you who aren't keeping an eye on things that are happening. So hang on, I'm just going to hopefully set you up here. Oh, that doesn't work on that one, does it? Oh. This is what you shouldn't do. Be spontaneous, but hopefully you'll see really the real me and what it's really like. So if I had a tech person, then I'd have a tech person, wouldn't I? So hang on. Sorry guys on YouTube. This is so funny. So basically everybody has been sending me questions on Twitter, on Instagram, on the Facebook group, everywhere. And I thought I would. I thought maybe I should probably do an introduction because I haven't even done one. I'm too busy yabbing. So I will officially say hi to everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm Jennifer Gilmore, and I'm an author and advocate for women in abusive relationships. I have been through an abusive relationship myself, and I basically took it on myself to write a book and bring an awareness to domestic abuse, which was a couple of years ago now, really. And it has been a journey. It has not been an easy one. And I feel like I'm only just finding my feet at the moment. I'm excited because I have quite a lot of options opening up to me, and I basically get up to so much. So, for example, last week, well, I've just only the other day come back down from Devon, which was come back up from Devon. And I was visiting Rockpool's sort of headquarters, I'm going to call it. They basically provide training, and they train the police forces, charities, organisations on their recovery toolkits, and that's what I originally went on. That's when I decided I wanted to bring awareness to domestic abuse. I've been on a journey with Rockpool, I'm not going to lie. I got in touch with Sue Penner, and she's the lady who's written these programs, and basically said that, you know, I want to be able to use some of the material in my next book, which isn't out yet. It's going to be the sequel to Isolation Junction. I had plans for 3 books, so that's exciting, but that is just on the side with lots of notes. I want to do it right. I've got a vision and a mission. I want to do it right. So yes, that's all coming. And Rockpool, I became a facilitator of their course, their recovery course, so I can actually hold a program myself and do the recovery toolkit with people. And then I've now gone to speak at their roadshow events, and now attended their Associates Day, and the rest is yet to come, I think. So it's very exciting. And then tomorrow I head down to London for a social day conference. It's 3 days. It's all about social media, and it is, I'm going to be excited. I'm really excited about that one because it's an opportunity. So yeah, hopefully you'll see a bit more of me. I'm sure maybe you've seen enough of me, who knows. So I'm going to answer some of these questions because I know that's what everybody's wanting to hear. Just going to say a couple of highs to those on Facebook. Hi Leanne, hi Tanith, and we've got Richard. We've got a couple of people on YouTube, so I am dueling it tonight. I'm feeling quite good about it. If you are on Facebook, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel because it does help, and I'm trying for that milestone of 100 so I can get my special URL. So there we go. So I'm going to head on to the questions. So there's a question from Victoria Wright. Do you have any plans for another book? I have kind of answered that one, but kind of not. So at the moment, I'm finishing writing a children's book, and yes, it's still going to be linking into domestic abuse. I've had this idea for quite some time, actually, and I just never had the opportunity to sort of put it together. So I am writing this children's book. In fact, the first draft will be finished in the next couple of days, and I'm hoping that will be this year. I really am. I'm hoping that's this year. But I do have plans for the second book from Isolation Junction. There will be a third, and that's as far as I've gone with ideas for another book. So I hope that helps answer the question, Victoria. So the next question. So Sandy C has actually given me a few questions, so I'll go through them individually. Do you prefer writing fiction or non-fiction? Oh, that's a difficult one. I really enjoy both because I have the creativity side with the fiction, but the non-fiction, it's quite easy for me because I can sort of express all of my feelings and say it how it is. So I really enjoy both because my non-fiction side is really my blog and how I feel and what I've been through, and so that helps me with that. So I think I've got a nice balance to what's going on. Do you get many story ideas from your own personal experience and those of others? Well, that's basically how my journey began, and writing Isolation Junction is that I had experienced domestic abuse, and more so the coercive control side, so the emotional abuse. And so I basically wanted to um, bring awareness to that side, because at the time there was no UK law in place. It wasn't a criminal offence, and so that was when I decided. And in Isolation Junction, I basically pulled my own feelings, my experiences together, and also other women that I'd been speaking to throughout the writing process, because I basically built a social media platform already. There was already there. I was bringing awareness to it through social media, and people reaching out and things like that. So that's where that really began and solidified. For those who haven't seen it, which I'm sure you will have, that's Isolation Junction, and it's available on Amazon, on my website, jennifergilmore.com. It was republished last year with Picture Publishing. Very happy with the cover, is so pretty. I can't get over that. So that's Isolation Junction, and that is based on true events, that of my own and other women. So yes, that's where it came from, if that helps. Sandy C also says, are you the kind of person who can turn an experience, personal or otherwise, into a creative work of fiction? Oh, that's really difficult. I don't think I can say that every single experience that I've gone through has been something I'm able to write about, because there are some. I mean, I don't mind talking about them here, but for example, I lost a baby, and I don't think I'm ready to write about something like that yet. So I think it really depends on where you are in your mental health and your recovery, or how you're able to deal with those kind of situations, as to whether you can write about them. So I do want to say, yes, I can do that and can bring that fiction, but I think it has to be when I'm ready. So I've kind of half and half answered that. Hi everyone, I've got a few more people joining in. Hi Donnie, hi Victoria. Just answered your question, Victoria. Hope you got the answer. Hi Becky, hi Laura. Thank you for joining in. And we've got Christian on YouTube. So thank you guys for bearing with me. So I've answered Victoria's and Sandy's questions so far. Let me go on to the next one. So I'm going to read out the whole piece of this one, because Jackie W says, you're a strong woman, Jennifer. I hope you don't mind me asking this, but how did you make it through? What gave you the incredible strength you have while you were going through so much? God, that is a hard question, because when you're in that kind of relationship, your only option is to get through. You're succeeding by getting through to the end of each day. It becomes like a coping mechanism to sort of make it through that day. And so even though people, Jackie has said, which is very lovely to say, that you've got that strength, you managed to get through it. At the same time, I don't feel like I did have strength, because I was there for so long, and if I had strength, why didn't I come out sooner? So I find that quite a difficult concept, but the things that got me through it were focusing on things like my children. They're like my sole reason to carry on, and thinking that one day there might be another option. Or when people say that saying, the grass is greener on the other side. I kept thinking there's got to be something out there or whatever. But you just get used to it. You get used to being in that kind of surroundings. And then when you do have an okay day, then that's like the best day ever for you in that relationship. And you hold on to those aspects. So for me, even though people see me as a strong person, I would say that I just had my coping mechanisms working and carrying on, and that's what got me through with keeping on focus onto those particular things in my life. For those who have gone through domestic abuse, they will probably understand that you just feel so suffocated and that you don't have any thinking space, so you're not even thinking about if you're coping, so it is quite difficult. Right, next question. Thank you for those who've asked questions, by the way, because I'm finding this really interesting, and it's really interesting to find out what people want to know. So, and if people are joining in and they want to ask questions, feel free to comment and ask me questions, because I will still try and answer them and go through and scroll through at the end. So this is from Twitter, Jugglers Anti-DV, which is somebody who joins in on hashtag abuse talk, which is my weekly Twitter chat. It happens on a Wednesday, 8 till 9 p.m. And all you do is follow that hashtag abuse talk. And basically, we have a different discussion each week. There's a different theme. Sometimes it can be to do with domestic abuse or in the news or what's happening. But sometimes we talk about recovery and successes and just nice things as well, because it's important to have a balance. So thank you, Jugglers and Against DV. She says, do you believe there is adequate help for victims when it comes to mental effects of abuse, such as victims who experience PTSD because of their experience with abuse? Now, for me, living in the UK, I would say that there is a bit. It depends where you are in the UK. It depends what region you are as to what help that is available. And everybody that I've spoken to has had a different experience of what their help is for their mental health after domestic abuse. For me, it's taken quite a long time for me to even accept that I needed some support and help, for me to even consider counselling or anything. So it wasn't so much the fact that there wasn't the support, it was the fact that I wasn't ready for that. So that was quite difficult to come to terms with. But could the, say, doctors recognise the signs of PTSD, anxiety, depression? Would that be coming out? I'm not sure. I think the problem what we've got is that it's not all the same standard. It's a different standard wherever you are, and we have some people that say they had a fantastic experience. We have some that say they had an absolute rubbish experience and they're still fighting for some support. I also think that professions need to be educated on domestic abuse and obviously the psychological effects, the signs to look out for, and even in that mental health aspect. So what it looks like to be somebody with depression or there's struggling with their recovery, for example. I think it's quite difficult though, because you kind of have to be available to the services in a sense as well. For me, once I got one piece of support, then the rest followed, which is quite strange, really. So how do we access it? We can't, we have to like self-refer, we have to go and ask for help, but how can we have people notice that there is something that needs support, there's someone that needs support, that needs that help? So I think it needs a lot of work, basically. If anybody does have experiences of the mental health aspect side of recovery after domestic abuse, and it's been good or bad or whatever, do get in touch. I'd be interested to know. I'm always wanting to learn, and hopefully that will come across that I am just wanting to be a sponge. Right, we've got another one from somebody who joins in on hashtag abuse talk as well. It's Save My Kids. How many of the male victims of female perpetrators have you had contact with? any form of support at all, and how many of those have experienced justice in any form? How does that compare with the experiences of female victims? Well, that is a question. To be honest, I've actually spoken to quite a lot of male victims of domestic abuse, and for some reason, the number seems to be increasing, specifically since going into the media. So when I'm on the radio or when an article goes live, that's when I'm having the response from the male side. And for me, I feel that even though there is a difference in statistic between male and female, at the end of the day, for me, abuse is abuse, and it shouldn't happen to anybody. So whether there's the justice there or not, I think there's a lot of women out there that haven't had their justice, and a lot of men out there who haven't had their justice, and it's not necessarily the gender side, but actually the systems that are in place at the moment that all need work on. Again, region by region, it's very different. The support side of it for male victims, I have personally put people in touch with local charities and organisations that have a male support worker, so they can gather some support. And I've personally directed them myself. And so that's a work in progress. If anybody can come and talk to me, it doesn't matter what gender you are, I will talk to you about it if you want to talk about it, and I will direct you to the right support if there is some support in your area. And that is that's my aim, really. So feel free to get in touch if you feel like you're able to. To me, it's the first person you talk to that's important. At least you've taken that first step. We have got some people, lots of other people joining in, so thank you. Hi, Donnie, can I ask you a private message, please? Yeah, go ahead, ask me a private message. Leanne, hi, Jodie. Hi, Victoria, commenting about what I've just said about not after domestic abuse, but I've got experience from the mental health recovery. Yeah, I'd be interested to know about your experience of local services then, Victoria, if you don't mind messaging me. And hi, Sue. Yes, it's great having loads of people. Okay, this one is an interesting question, again from Twitter. From the @ is BelVRose1. How does anyone on the outside of coercive, controlling relationships spot the problems? So I always get asked about, why did nobody help, or why didn't I see the signs, and how can we look for the signs? And from my experience alone, if I look back at what had happened and the people around me at the time, from that, my personality changed quite quickly. So what I could be I'll show the simplest and first really example and a sign what that was apparent was that I used to go out with my friends quite a lot. I was a university student, and when I was in this relationship, then when I was planning to go out with those friends again, I got the sort of statement, "Oh, are you sure you're going out with them? Because I thought we were going to spend some time together. I really enjoy spending time together." And once that happened, and once I decided that I wasn't going to meet my friends and that I was going to spend that time with that person, that was the mistake I kind of made, because then he realised he could get away with it, and it just sort of rolled on to the next thing and the next. And what you saw, if you look back and if you could meet me back then, is this person who was very, very sociable, that ultimately then friends started dropping off one by one. I was saying no to coming out. Why am I saying no? Nobody sort of questioned that side. And then again, within that person's presence, so whenever I was with my partner, basically I would alter my personality. So I was very, sort of hunched down. He was there. I was very careful of what to say. I was a very funny person. Oh, this is what I think I was. I was very humorous. People loved hanging around with me, very sociable. And to become a bit, the funny element when, obviously the sociable element when, and basically you got a bit of a shell of what I was. So I was this flamboyant person that everybody wanted to hang out with. Like, I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but people did love hanging out with me. People wanted to go out with me, wanted to dance on the dance floor, whatever. To this person that just didn't want to go out anymore, who was stuck by that partner, who didn't even get back onto messages, who then wasn't, who altered their personality. And I think those are the first signs to look out for, is, what has changed with that person? Have they said no to you a bunch of times? Are you even getting upset by the response that you're getting as well? So these signs are really subtle, but they are so important for how it leads on. So that is some of the signs that I would have said from what I went through. But other signs can be, what are their appearance like? So some people could be controlled with their eating. So that could be that they lose a bunch of weight or they put on a bunch of weight. The problem is the signs are so subtle that you are having, a lot of people might think, oh, I don't want to assume it's this. I don't want to assume it's abuse because, we don't want to make an assumption and get it wrong. So you have to tread careful and deal with the situation. But if you ever feel that somebody is in that type of relationship, then try and meet up with them and talk to them and ask them how they are and get conversations going. If they're not going to tell you anything, then that's going to be a big sign as to why they're not talking to you about anything that's happening in that relationship. And you can mention your concern in that place. Right, Linda Knoll. What is one of your inspirations for what you do? So for me, it's really difficult for an inspiration. I don't really have any one I look up to, but my husband is somebody that has supported me no matter what in this journey, no matter what difficulties have come, my way. It's not been an easy journey, but he did say to me, look, if you go down this route, I will be there to sort of hold your hand and everything when things are not so great, and encourage you to sort of move on or get on with it on the next step. I'll be there with your successes, and he's been the one that I've been able to sort of talk to about any comments or anything, talk through any speaking, go over the speaking, go over certain things that have cropped up, even with support. I'll talk through with it, because for me it's so important that I handle certain situations correctly and that I'm approachable. So for me, he is my inspiration because he is like my rock and he keeps me going. And without him, I wouldn't work. This wouldn't have worked. So I have a lot to be thankful for him. And if anybody really likes what I do, then I can also be thankful, I guess. I'm just going to go through some stuff. Hi, Linda. Hope you got the answer to your question. Hope it helped. I'm not sure. Do you know what? I'm going to be quite honest with you guys. I basically decided to do this live Q&A, and I planned it like for a few weeks. And what happened was all this stuff got piled up around it. You won't believe what's been going on. So, just getting back from Devon, and then something not related to do with TV is sort of being involved, and that's going up in a couple of weeks. That's taken up quite a lot of my time. And then I'm going down to London tomorrow, but then I've got some deadlines to do. I've got some stuff I want to do. There's people I need to talk to. And if anybody saw my article that went into the Daily Mail online, which was first for me, having a national story, I've just received so many messages, and I just didn't have the time allowance to sort of get back to everyone. So I think I've just finished getting back to everyone. So it has been crazy. I would like to know from you, from those that of you are joining in right now, what you would like. Do you like these Q&As? What would you like? Because I do want to do more videos like this. I just don't know what you guys want. Obviously, I have my YouTube channel where I have like a thought series, and I do like vlogs and tell you what's going on in my life and what I'm thinking and feeling, and that's really good for when I'm having my bad days and good days. I have my #Abuse Talk interviews, but I would love to know how we can make it work for Facebook, what you want me to talk about, basically. So do give me some ideas and inspiration. I would love to be inspired by you guys on what to talk about. We've got someone on YouTube, Louis. How is your first Q&A doing? I have no idea. How is it going? I started on YouTube and I've switched Facebook on as well, in fear that I would be sat talking to myself, which I'm quite good at doing because I've waffled on and you're still listening to me, so that's not too bad. So if anybody's got any questions, I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes. You can pop them below and I will answer them. But the other thing I'm going to mention is I haven't mentioned Clipped Wings, which I thought I might as well plug my books as well because it's a good opportunity. So Clipped Wings, that's the non-fiction, and that's Survivor Stories in there. That's a great book for people that are doing social studies or are looking to gather in sort of case studies on domestic abuse, and it also gives you an insight as to the different types of abuse, financial, emotional, physical, sexual, and all different kinds of elements. So that's that one. While you're thinking of questions, hopefully. And if anyone is local, I now write for the Hull Hub. I have been doing it for quite some time, but I've only just really, I feel like really settled in. I really enjoy it. I write for a couple of magazines or newspapers now, so it's quite nice. I'm going to try and find my current one. So my current one is about Clipped Wings, believe it or not. And you can read it online as well, so even if you're not local, you can have a read. And it's all about Clipped Wings and finding the local legal graffiti. So that's that. But what I'm really excited about and thankful to are the people who are on my Drip. So basically, if you haven't heard about my Drip membership platform, people can subscribe to it, become members of it, and whatever tier you go for, you get extra content, you unlock content. And I was trying to upload a video today because I've got exciting news that I'm trying to contain but want to give to those that are on my Drip first. I'm going to be putting that up hopefully tomorrow. It'll load up. It's really important to say thank you, because without those people, I wouldn't be able to sort of carry on doing the projects and the maintenance of everything as well. So thank you so much for those who support me on Drip. Victoria's asking, what is Drip? So Drip is basically a bit like Patreon. So people can give like £1, £3, £6, £10 or £20, and for each number, each tier, there is a different benefit. Like there's like, you can get a fan pack of my work, you can get exclusive content, behind the scenes information. I normally release all of my news there first because they're the people who are at the foundation of everything really, and sort of with me on this journey. They're the people that are keeping everything going at the moment, so I'm really thankful for those people that are on my Drip. If you it's a bit like a GoFundMe page. It never expires. I'm only 1 out of 10 in the UK to have one, and it's an invitation only platform. So I feel really honoured to have been invited onto it. It's actually linked with Kickstarter, but I'll send you the details after, so you can have a nosy and have a look and see what you think, Victoria. And anybody that's interested, do get in touch with me. I also have, for those who don't know, a street team, which is completely free to join. There's a giveaway at the moment. there's a giveaway every month for something not even to do with the work I do, but it can be something like an Amazon gift card or a book or some stationery or anything like that, and that's like free to join in, and it's all just to do with supporting what the work I do, really. As I take on a venture as to make a decision on whether I'm going to become a non-profit or not, I was really gearing up to go for the non-profit status at the beginning of this year, but events have changed slightly, and I might not be able to. I might not be doing that now, so it just depends on where I go. But yeah, it's an exciting journey. Things have happened quick this year. I decided last year that this year was going to be my make it or break it kind of year, or see how things go and do it, just get everything done that I was scared of doing. And so ever since I've sort of gone out of my comfort zone, everything seems to be sort of coming into place and happening. So it has been a bit of a journey. Well, if that is all the questions, I think I've answered everybody's from earlier and any that have been put up on now. I've been live for about 40 minutes. Again, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. I'm trying to get to 100. I think I'm at 60 something right now. I want to do lives on YouTube as well to try and sort of do Q&As like this and get some conversation started and get some more quality content on there. So yes, I'm so delighted that everyone joined me. How do I relax with all this work? Victoria's asking. Oh, I get a massage every now and then, or have a bath. I think if you ask my husband, he would just say that because my work is a passion, that if I could choose to, I'd work as my holiday. For me, I'm so passionate about bringing awareness to it, and so I guess I relax within that. Don't fight me, but I do enjoy time off when I do have time off, when I force myself to, so don't worry. I'm actually going to tomorrow morning to a Salt Revive, even though it's technically business networking, but there is this Salt Revive in Beverley, and do you know what, I'm not even going to try and explain it because I don't know too much about it, but apparently it helps with different medical problems and whatnot, about having salt around you and sort of breathing in the salt. So I suppose that's going to be, even though for a networking, it will be a relaxing part too. What do you reckon? Does that fit into relaxing, even though I'm doing networking at the same time? I don't know. I don't relax very much. I just enjoy doing this. I would stay on here for another 40 minutes. You could keep me talking. If people can ask me questions, I'll just sit here all night talking. But that would be really boring for those that are watching on catch up and thinking, what's she waffling on about? So, oh hi Sandy. Oh, she's joined on YouTube. Sorry I'm late. I'm just about to go, Sandy. She's just come online. But I did answer your questions earlier, so do come and watch it on playback. But thank you everyone for joining me, and for making me not feel alone in all of this. If anybody wants information on Drip, I'll prop the link below after I've gone offline, so you can have a look. And yeah, so thank you for joining in, and remember that together we are louder. Bye. Oh wait, I'm going to end this. Oh.